Okay, so let's get into some of the weapons and perks and gameplays, classes, and the metas, and how everything kind of works out at the moment. So, first things first, snipers are big and they're back for Verdansk. It's always kind of how we remember it being, especially with the reintroduction of the HDR then as well. And the Car 98 is probably about second place to the HDR at the minute. Because it has good ability, good ADS speed, and it will also two shots to the body now again as well, in so far long as one of those shots is a torso shot, and then you can follow up with the second shot anywhere in the body and you will kill them. It also one shot headshots up to 75 meters, so if you're looking to dominate that short to mid range, pull off some quick snipes or some quick scopes, the Car 98 absolutely allows you to do that. Now the HDR in comparison will one shot headshot at any distance, but it's also two shot to the body as well, I believe. So it's a bit more bulkier, a bit more clunkier, a slower rechamber speed, a bit slower ADS. You can get even more bullet velocity on the HDR with the introduction of the monolithic suppressor that's in the battle pass. But it also adds, I believe, a 20-second ADS penalty to the sniper as well. So either or suppressor is viable. You can go for a regular suppressor, you go for the monolithic suppressor. So in terms of the Car 98, it's just, the same Car 98 that we would have had in Urzikstan. There's not really many changes to the build. Pretty quick, pretty fast. You can one-shot headshot to 75 meters. Just notice that the SPAC dummy is 100 meters. So yeah, it's required to, it will only two-shot. With comparison then to the HDR, it will one-shot headshot at any distance. So if you notice the SPAC dummy, well, one-shot headshot them now. It's a bit slower, a bit clunkier, rechambering's a bit longer, but it is what it is. So the first part, or the first segment of the video after this introduction is just going to be a sniping segment. Basically, I'm going to include all the sniper shots. There's some juicy ones in there. So you'll see me using the Car 98 at the start of the video when I'm testing that out, and then you'll see the HDR then a bit later on. And then after that, I'll get into some of the gameplay and some of the games, and then eventually towards the end of the video, there's 2 wins that I got in the opening weekend, so stick around to see that. Apart from the primary weapon, I've just been using the Kilo. Pretty good recoil-wise. Maybe not as good as the SMGs on the short range because they are leading people at the minute. I think it's probably the fastest SMG TTK that we've ever had, essentially. So, yeah, it's a bit tough, especially when you're putting rotational aim assist in those tight corridors and staircases, or those buildings where there's only one way up. I like having to avoid playing on mouse and keyboard, trying to avoid those short range engagements inside of buildings, and more importantly, inside of staircases, or tight hallways and things like that, because I will just get absolutely cooked and deleted. So that's pretty much the weapons. Not really too much is going on, I would say, in terms of the tacticals or the lethals. I'm using the impact grenades. If I need to peek an angle or I'm challenging somebody inside one of those corridors, if I want to get some sort of competitive health advantage before I chow them, I can throw one of these down. It cracks them if they're right on them, I believe, but it's more likely about to do 1 or 2 plates of damage, so it can give you a bit of an advantage going into that fight. It can also help clear people out of cover, but you might want to opt for Semtex maybe, if that's more your thing. The smokes, I don't really care too much about. Flashbangs are pretty strong, as is gas, because of the animation it makes you do, and shock sticks. The stims are pretty nerfed hard now that the movement has been massively slowed down. Omni movement's not really much of a thing anymore. And smokes are just terrible. It takes a long time for the smokes to activate once you throw them down on the ground. But it also stuns you really hard. Like in Urzikstan, for example, when you throw a smoke grenade, you can kind of keep sprinting. You can kind of hold your momentum. You can keep going. But if you throw a smoke grenade in this iteration of Warzone, It slows you right down, takes you right out of the sprint, slows you right down, and then in addition to that, because the smoke takes a longer time to open up and disperse the smoke, it just makes you easier to hit because it's slowing you down. The only reason why I keep them on and I'm using them is just in case in the final zone I can pre-smoke my rotation pathway basically. So if I don't get the zone or I don't get the zone pool, I can basically pre-smoke that pathway. But I think most people would be better served with anything else in this category, like a flashbang or the gas, for example. So at the minute now we have 5 base plates and an 8-plate vest in the game. Now the problem is with a 5-plate base is if you get cracked once, you get 1 full heal and then you only have 2/3 of a heal after that. So you're being forced into a certain playstyle with your perks here because tempered then, because it's 2 plates, it means you can get 2 full heals and then an additional 2/3 of a heal. And this is even better than if you have the 8-plate vest, because then you get 4 full heals. But also paired with the advantage, you get a faster heal and more HP per plate, you know what I mean? So if you're going for those high kill games, you probably might want to use Bird's Eye, for your UAVs and that sort of stuff. Otherwise, if you're a camper, like most people in this game, with Verdansk's return, probably might want to use Ghost, but Tempered is the way forward, I think. And then in addition to that, Scavenger then also makes people you kill drop more cash, more plates. Because I think they only drop like a minimum 1 plate if you kill them, which is stupid. You should drop at least a minimum of 3 plates. You should be guaranteed a full reset if you kill somebody. Otherwise, you're getting penalized. For example, yesterday, I landed in a PY with 4 people. And as soon as I killed the first guy, obviously took a few hits. I was going into each subsequent fight after that with a HP disadvantage, essentially. And then I killed everybody in this small mini POI. And then by the time I walked out, I still wasn't on full plates. So even though I've just killed 4 people, I've still been penalized, HP-wise. Going into my next fight or going to wherever I go on again. So it's just really stupid. So Scavengers are much to basically get your ammo, equipment, plates, cash, and that sort of thing. So I think they're going to fix that, but like having to basically forcing you into using 2 perks essentially straight off the bat just because of for the sake of the OG, it's just really 3-head, but that's just my opinion. I would rather use the likes of Mountaineer and have a more aggressive playstyle, jumping off buildings, that sort of idea. But in terms of the perk 2s, they're pretty buttons. You could probably get away with using anything here. Quick Fix might be your best bet, because inserting an armor plate, gets you that triggers a health regeneration then straight away. But the one thing is, the plate animation is longer, I believe, so it takes longer to apply your plates, but you can also do it one-handed, so you can maintain hip fire while you're doing it as well. So, and then killing players initiates health regen as well. So I do think that this is probably your best bet. If you're using a perk, I'm just using Quartermaster at the minute because I'm kind of like if I need to replenish those smokes in the late game, I want to do that just for those rotation decisions, but I do think Quick Fix is your best bet if you're looking to pick a perk 2. Apart from that, the wild card, there's nothing really to say. You're going to use Overkill for your class 1, or for your first loadout, sorry, and then you're going to use the Gunfighter version for your second loadout to get the 8 attachments on your primary weapon. So, apart from that, pretty good, decent opening weekend. I've spent 6 months away from Warzone, so a lot of it was spent getting up to speed, especially on that first evening. So the KD's rising all the time. We did get 2 wins. Let me hide my keyboard camera a second. Make this easier to see. Okay, so yeah, we could see got 2 wins. We're up to 2.34 KD ratio. So we're planning on getting that even higher this time around. But yeah, we're doing pretty good. The main thing that's packing us in KD wise is probably the pistols off rip. They're pretty much pistols on mouse and keyboard just suck a mega dick. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. And the reason is there's a lot of visual noise, visual clutter, and visual recoil, especially after that first kind of shot. And now that bare bones pistols is the gulag for the first zone, yeah, I think, if you look at my Kilo 141, I have a 3.10 KD with it. And then for the sniper, with the Car 98, I've got, 6.25 KD. I don't even know where the HDR is. I've got a 4.4 KD with it, and a 6 KD with the sniper, and then a 3 KD with the Kilo. So realistically, it's the pistols on the ground that's kind of packing my KD in at the minute, but don't worry, it will get higher. But with that being said, let's get into the sniping segment of the video. I'll show some of the good snipes that I've got, good few juicy shots in there, and then we'll get into some of the games, and then those 2 wins then at the end. So peace.
Bounty targets destroyed. Hell of a job. Enemy UAV is online.
Down, little pop.
Enemy UAV is online. Gets evaded. Bounty contract's been pulled.
Shit on.
You've got...
I had to hit that, bro. Holy shit.
Enemy drop. Strike it back. Relocating safe zone.
Priority tasking request received. US
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. Bound. Only 4 left. The enemy lost track. Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. Enemy dropping into the AO. Hostile. Ready up for redeployment. Solid work evading the enemy. You're clear for now. Hostile UAV in the area. remained. We lost that one, but we'll get a W next time. Primary of... Gas is closing in.
TACOM, we're flying on fumes. UAV returning to tank.
Loadout drop headed your way. Gas is inbound, marking new safe zone.
Priority tasking request received. We're done. Mission timeline expired. UAV exiting the AO.
You're losing ground. Move it. Well, enemy UAV is online. Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone. Supply crates are restocked.
Fuck, visible. Look at his visibility.
Target down. Stand by for redeployment. You earned it.
TACOM, we're flying on fumes. UAV orbiting tanks.
You've got gas moving in.
Horseman gets
The
sandwiched
enemy
between the
is
both
no
of
longer
them.
tracking you. Enemy eliminated. Prepare for redeployment. Gas is inbound. and 10 were still standing.
Yes, nice. You just threw your game. Running
Hit
to
'em
me
hard
out in the
that
open.
time. Dust yourself off.
Dusted them.
Get back
He's right
out
on the
there.
edge of gas as well. Fuck, man.
All bounty targets destroyed. Hell of a job. Enemy UAV is online.
Down, little pump.
Mission timeline expired. UAV exiting the AO.
Throwing Semtex.
Priority tasking request received. We're done.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV is online. Just moving in. New safe zone located. Supply crates have been restocked. Load up.
I might dead here, bro. The impact grenade was straight on him. Yeah,
Success means
GG's. Nice,
redeployment.
nice taste
Failure
there, man.
means elimination. Target down. Stand by for redeployment. You earned it.
on, Nick, don't die.
Enemy airstrike in the area. Solid work evading the enemy. You're clear for now.
UAV is bingo fuel, returning to base.
Ah, I can see him, man.
Enemy eliminated. Prepare for redeployment.
LDBR awaiting targeting data.
Enemy soldier incoming. Only 4 remain. Finish the job. Closing in. Relocating safe zone.
Mission timeline expired. UAV exiting the AO.
That LATV's a problem.
You're losing ground. Move it.
Is that him on the heartbeat that moved?
Just moving in. New safe zone located. You've got gas
Can't
moving
see
in.
him.
That's
shit.
how it's done.
Give me that OG animation. That's the keyboard, baby.
Thanks for the work. UAV overflight terminated.
Oh man, how do you chow out there?
Target down. Stand by for redeployment. You
Should have lost that, to be fair. Man, he was a sweaty cunt, that boy.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
Target acquired. Strike inbound.
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Shots missed. No join.
You're losing ground. Move it.
Give me the pool, baby.
Gas is closing in. Relocating safe zone. They picked the wrong fight. Way to get it done.
I take back everything. Hey, I take about everything back what I said about the HDR, bro. Pipe down, little pup. I knew I had to go for the peak there. They got the bulb. Jeez.